Lauri Markkanen was named a starter today, and then Grizzlies guard Ja Morant, and then also one of the MVP favorites, Joel Embiid, got the call up to be starters as well. Perk, your reaction to those three getting the starter status?
I love it. Ja Morant should have been a starter, period. Him and Joel. Tired of the disrespect with those two.
Also, Malika, Lauri Markkanen added as a starter. Yeah. That's huge. That's really huge.
What do you think, buddy?
I'm happy.
Rightfully so.
I've been watching him early in the year, and I was like, this guy, he's figured it out. He's in a place that he's comfortable, and he deserves it.
Now we see him as a starter. So those gentlemen were named as starters, but how about the folks getting into the game as injury replacements? We've got Kings, De'Aaron Fox. We've got the Raptors, Pascal Siakam. And then the Wolves, Anthony Edwards. All of them are all-star reserves. Each of them is so deserving. Perk, I know you're especially excited to see Anthony Edwards get in, right?
You know I am. And he should be in. He should be in. What he's been doing to the league, he's been having one of his best seasons this year. And you know what? Past him getting into the All-Star game, I want to applaud the Minnesota Timberwolves for a second. Because that move with D'Angelo Russell was deeper than just him getting out of there and them making moves to get Conley. That had something to do with getting the relationship right with Karl Anthony Towns and Anthony Edwards, because we already know that D'Lo and Cats was tied together like shoelaces. So how do you get your two franchise guys to come together? You got to get D'Lo out the way. Now they have no choice but to mess with each other.
Okay. I thought De'Aaron Fox should have been in already. Yep. I thought Pascal Siakam should have been in already. The coaches screwed that up. Shame on you, coaches. Spicy P should have been in. Anthony Edwards is super deserving. I just want to give a shout-out to Aaron Gordon, who I think is having a tremendous season for the team with the best record in the conference, and didn't get any love here. And I'm not going to say he's a snub, because I think all these guys should be in. I just want to shout out. I want to say a nice thing about another person. Yeah. Aaron Gordon, you're really good.
You're really good too, Zach. Nice thing about another person.
Affirmations.
Affirmations are good. We know Perk likes it when we all share something, a positive note of the day, and so that's really nice.
Oh, I didn't know Perk. Okay.
Yeah, Perk likes us to
percolate on positivities. I get it.
I like that. Percolate on positivity. We have much more percolation to come. So let's play a little chop it or drop it. We're going to run through some teams in the West, see how their roster moves, how they were reshaped around the trade deadline. Let's start with the Golden State Warriors, because they shipped out former second overall pick James Wiseman. They got back Gary Payton II. Wiseman, he landed with the Pistons in a multi-team deal. So, Zach, are we chopping it or dropping it?
It's the Warriors. We're chopping it. They're the defending champions, and this was their move to try to maximize Steph Curry's prime, try to maximize this season that's been up and down and up and down. I'm not sure it's enough. It's also a very sad coda to the James Wiseman era, and that pick, that whiff, could come back to haunt him.
Kudos to Bob Myers, right? We talked about the depth and improving their bench play. They got back Gary Payton II, who they're familiar with, and they added Bay from Detroit, who I figure is going to fit right in with the way
they did. Atlanta. He was on the move.
My bad, I'm tripping. I ain't getting no sleep last night. We still getting back Gary Payton II was huge for them because he was a huge part of their success in winning the title last year.
Well, the Warriors are currently sitting in the 9th seed, one game ahead of the team I want to hit next. So let's go to the Portland Trailblazers, because they shipped off Josh Hart to the Knicks, but they added Cam Reddish, Matisse Thybulle, Kevin Knox. We chopping it or dropping it?
What? Did they move Dave?
No.
Well, we dropped it.
All right, they didn't move Dave, so we're dropping it. The last team I want to hit is a team that came into the year with just sky-high expectations, the Los Angeles Clippers. They acquired 3 players, Eric Gordon, Bones Highland, Mason Plumlee. They lost Luke Kennard, Reggie Jackson, John Wall. We were expecting them to go for a point guard. Brian, are we chopping it or are we dropping it?
Let's chop it. I mean, there was a lot of pressure in the West amongst these contending teams after this Durant trade. They made 3 deals. Look, the most important thing for the Clippers is Kawhi healthy, and is Paul healthy too. Right now they're got a fighting chance.
My only thing to this is they need a true point guard, in my opinion. I just feel like at some point, as you move further into the playoffs, you need an organizer. And I know they have scorers, and I was a scorer, and I was in a position where I'm the facilitator, and you still have a scorer's mentality sometimes, so you tend to forget your other job is to get other guys involved in understanding time and score and who needs a shot. I'm not saying they can't do it, but how long can you do it? So I just feel like at some point they're going to have to find a true point guard.
They tried to get one, and they couldn't. Right. They looked at Fred VanVleet. They looked at Mike Conley. Nothing else fit. They couldn't meet those prices for those guys. So this is the best they could do. And I think they're better today than they were yesterday. Eric Gordon fits their vision of kind of wings, shooting, guys who can shoot, dribble, and pass, and he can guard up in size. He's tough. He can guard bigger guys. That's big for them, the way they switch. And Plumlee can do all the stuff that Hartenstein was doing for them last year, all the passing. They're better, but other teams made bigger upgrades. And look, the West is loaded, and there's going to be a team with a lot at stake that loses in the first round of the playoffs. And that's going to be big for the offseason.
Well, can we just challenge Kawhi Leonard and Paul George for a second? Like, challenge them to actually do things that LeBron James do, meaning be that point forward. Challenge them what Luka is doing, a point forward. He's not a traditional point guard. Like, PG has the capability of doing that, so is Kawhi Leonard. So I think we put a little bit too much emphasis in the point guard position when in today's game we don't really see too many rondos out there, guys that are putting the team in position like this.
Well, if you ask the Clippers, that's exactly what they're going to say. They're going to say, well, what about Paul George? He can have the ball in his hands. Brian, one question before we head to break for you. We heard Adrian Wojnarowski talk about some of the big name players that could be targets in the buyout market. One of them is Russell Westbrook. Is there anything to Russ staying in Los Angeles potentially with the Clippers?
I know that Paul George really wants him there. I have a hard time considering the stakes, seeing the Clippers do it. I think he will have an opportunity, one or two other spots. I would wager against it at this point.
Okay, very, very interesting. All right, still to come on NBA Today. In 3 years, scoring 25 points in his